We start our report tonight with a new set of questions that come with a new set of classified documents found at President Biden's home in Wilmington, Delaware. The White House says they found 5 additional pages marked classified during a search of Mr. Biden's library on Thursday. This adds to the other sensitive documents already discovered in his garage and in his former office in Washington. Adriana Diaz is in Washington with more.
John, good evening. The document disclosures continued this weekend in what's become an expanding legal and political headache for the White House.
How do you think that the classified documents got into your boxes?
The president today ignored questions about the disclosure of 5 more classified pages at his Wilmington home as the demand for answers from the White House from both parties increased.
We have a serious trust issue.
In a letter, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer told White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain the White House must provide the Wilmington residents' visitor log. But a White House spokesman told CBS News there's no such thing. Like every president across decades of modern history, his personal residence is personal. What was your response when the White House or the Secret Service told you that no such logs existed?
I find that hard to believe. It's very hard to believe because the Secret Service you would assume, would vet people before they would be granted entry into the former vice president's home or certainly the current president's home. But, let's take them at the word and said they weren't.
The latest disclosure of classified materials came Saturday when White House counsel Richard Sauber announced he'd gone to the Wilmington house Thursday evening to hand over a single-page document found earlier. While I was transferring it to the DOJ officials who accompanied me, he wrote, 5 additional pages with classification markings were discovered. Democrats are also voicing concern.
I'd like to know what these documents were, whether there was any risk of exposure and what the harm would be.
Presidents and vice presidents can take classified records home with little accounting of what they have and where, says former acting CIA Director Michael Morrell.
They're cut slack because of who they are. And I think that's what has to end, right? Somebody needs to be put in charge of knowing what information has gone to the residents and making sure that that information comes back.
At the end of an administration, both classified and unclassified documents belonging to a president or vice president must be turned over to the National Archives. John, the special counsel is expected to start as early as this week, gathering a team to find out why these documents were not at the archives.
Adriana, can you sort out for us the difference between what's illegal versus what's just bad, dumb PR in terms of what the White House told the public versus what they did or didn't tell the Department of Justice?
Well, John, let's start with the legality of this. It is illegal to have classified documents that are not in a secure facility. The only people that can view classified documents are those that have the proper clearance and have a need to know to view those documents. However, that being said, we've talked to a lot of security experts, people in the intelligence community who've done work investigating classified documents that are found in places where they shouldn't have been. And they say it does happen. And usually what happens is someone might have some kind of administrative penalty. They lose their clearance level. They are suspended, something like that. The way it turns into a criminal situation is if there is an intention behind moving these documents or having these documents not in a secure facility. So that's what the special counsel will dig into to figure out whether this was intentional or if this was just carelessness. Now, in terms of the PR headache, I mean, that's putting it lightly. This has really taken up all of the air and all of the focus here in Washington. Congress is focusing on this. We have committees in the House that are going to be investigating this. That takes up a lot of resources, a lot of time, and a lot of attention at a time when President Biden wants everyone focusing on, his own agenda. So his White House is a bit distracted focusing on this. So is Congress. And more importantly, he's considering a run for president in 2024.
That's right. And in addition to the question of whether and how these were handled, there's the question of course, national security implications, which is yet to be worked out. Adriana, thank you so much.
Thank you.